Good morning, you guys. It is Friday morning. Happy Halloween. It's about 8 in the morning. I just finished the 10 coaching rules, the CEO Coaches Pledge. So that should be pasted under this in the email. I'm here in my kitchen and I am going to go over 3 things we're going to talk about. And by the way, this is the last video, so I know you're ready to quit getting videos. We're going to talk about what do we, we're going to decide who's on our bus, and then that gives us something to talk about. We invite people to join us, and we hope they get to earn this honor, but then we want to make the honoring part simple and easy. We don't want to complicate our jobs too much. This is really all about us becoming these amazing coaches we can all use to, let me just say, I know I could use the support and the guidance to be better, and then if we can help each other, then we just only do better by our customers, and we create a more stable and better business across the board. So I want to go over how can we help them feel honored and make it have its effect but be simple for us. So the first thing that has to happen, I made this a 5-stepper. So 5 things, and I'll make a little graphic so it's a reminder. Number 1, we have to set a measurable milestone that has an important purpose to it, because it has to qualify as a life change. So what does your customer want to do that will change their lives, and how is it measured? That's the first thing. That's number 1. Can't get this award without that. Number 2, you have to achieve it together. Number 3, excuse me, I gotta read. Number 3, they are going to write. So I don't know if you want to present this like, this is your application, or, I want to give you this award, and part of that is you do this. How did reaching that goal change their life? So this is where they talk about, I set this goal and I achieved it, and this is why it's so important to me. And I think people feel honored by that. It's basically, we want to hear from them, what this has done for them, and share. And I think that's a big part of achieving a goal. I think people love that. And then number 4, we want them to include, how did their coach help them? And so we want them to know at the front end that we are accountable. For them to get this award, we actually have to be helpful to them. So this lets them know that we are a part. We have to do something that gives them something to write about in a way, and just lets them know that we're on the hook as well. And it also serves a really great bigger purpose on the other side, which we can think about. And then the 5th thing is we need a picture. Now the picture can commemorate the goal achievement. So if they want, you may have somebody who's like, I've never run a step in my life and I want to do a 5K. Okay, then that would be a finish line picture, would be great. Or maybe it's just a picture of the 2 of you when you're spending time together. And we'll talk about, how important that is. Or maybe it's a picture of the scale if it's a scale goal. Maybe it's a picture of them with their grandkids if it's I want to play with my grandkids. Maybe, I don't know, be creative, but let it commemorate them. Let it honor them and the achievement of their goal. So those are the 5 things we need. So what are we going to do? How are we going to get them to their goal, and how are we going to honor them? So what we call this is the 5 steps of loving on your passenger, or your passengers, because hopefully you'll have more than one. First thing we know is that people love to hear their name. It's music to their ears. So we're going to recognize them, and we're going to use the free but very powerful tool of Facebook. And we're going to use hashtags. So you will create a Facebook post that is a picture of that picture we talked about. It will be, and then a picture that I will give you that's going to be our hashtag Team Rev Change 100 ambassador that designates them as an ambassador for the Team Rev Change 100 award, or maybe I'll call it award recipient. And then you can pick a 3rd picture, kind of like we do when we recognize pins. When we do the silver pin or gold pin, their picture in a quote or something. So it'll look like that. Then the body of the post, I think, would be great to be that person's, what they write, not just about how they've achieved this goal and it changed their lives, but remember, your role as a coach is going to be in there. So that's a great accountability, but that's also a great testimony to not just the products and the systems, but the coaching that we do. So that's number 1. We can share that on our personal Facebook walls. And what happens is, if you have 10 teammates who have 10 people in the same week, and they use that hashtag in the post, hashtag Team Rev Change 100, when you click that, it'll have all 10 people. It'll basically be one long website, and Facebook will categorize that for us. Sorry. Hi, Bella. You guys can't see my 13-year-old lab walking around. So she's ticking. So that's a simple way to use a free tool that's $1 billion, sales and marketing tool for so many companies. So I think that is all we're going to do, and then share it in our Lean and Clean product coaching group. And so that just continued. You know, people who see that, they're like, oh man, I haven't bought my vitamins or talked to my coach in forever. And that'll re-engage them and create product loyalty for those that, you know, are using products. So number 2, we need to learn to spend time with each individual passenger. Kids are just like us. We spell love, T-I-M-E. Number 3, you've got to listen. And I think it's hard because you've got so much you want to say and so much you want to help and suggestions. But a lot of times just sitting and spending time and listening is great, and then you can make a game out of it. Number 4, you can think, while I'm sitting here and spending time and just hearing this person, what do I think their strengths are? And then highlight those to that person and use them to bring out the best to help them achieve their goal. So number 1, we're going to recognize them. Number 2, and that comes kind of at the end, and you can do that at the beginning as well. Hey, this person and I are embarking on this journey. You can tell people in person, you can use Facebook, whatever. Definitely we're using Facebook at the end because that's really our, we're using that tool of Facebook and those hashtags to create our long list of testimonials and to recognize them publicly. Number 2, spend time. Number 3, listen. Number 4, bring out their best. Number 5, serve them. So I think sometimes that can be anything, but I will put that in a reminder graphic, and then you can think about, you know, as you think about each of the people that you're helping, what can I do for them? And I think serve them, just think, how can you add value to them? What is there something that you can do that even if y'all not part ways, but if when you know, 10 years down the road, did you leave them with some value outside of AdvoCare? So that's the 5 ways to love on your passengers. We have the 5 ways that somebody earns the designation, and I'll provide you graphics. And then the last thing I want to talk about is our fuel. Our fuel is positivity. Anybody who's doing this project, if you go read the book by John Gordon called The Energy Bus, this is what a lot of football teams use. This is what a lot of CEOs use. And he talks about the only fuel that we can use to get us where we want to go is positivity. So we've got to bring a ton of energy. And that can't be one person bringing energy and everybody else waiting to receive. Everybody takes responsibility for tons of energy. And we have to know now that we're gonna have obstacles. We're gonna have, you know, we're gonna have negativity from within our team, and we can't tolerate it. We've got to learn to communicate and learn. And here's what I really feel like is the biggest challenge. You know, all organizations are volunteer organizations. I mean, direct sales is not. That's sometimes, I don't think it's any different. And we have the urge to sort of fade back and be quiet and think that nobody's noticing. And the problem is we have to resist that urge. We have to hold each other accountable, and we have to call each other out and say, hey, do you still want to do this goal? And like we said, you know, not just the coaching and time and love that we spend on our customers, we owe that to each other because we can't get there alone. I could never, ever, ever, ever do this business if it weren't for my friends that do this business as well, and we help each other. And so that's huge. That's one of the only ways that we can overcome. So if everybody wants to operate independently, then we'll never all achieve our goals because it's not possible. So resist the urge to, you know, disengage with your team. Big lags in energy, they're going to happen. I have them. I mean, y'all have seen them in me. Everybody has them. But if we're all committed, then when one person's having a lag, other people are, you know, stepping in. Leaders lose focus, clients complain, leaders complain, your team complains to you, all of that stuff. But remember, if we're taking responsibility for positivity and for engagement, and we're taking responsibility for helping others stay positive and engaged, then that should be less of a problem. What can we do to prepare for and prevent the derailing from our goal? I think everybody just has to stay committed and positive, and remember that if somebody kind of falls out, we pretty much go rescue them as a team, and we're going to get there, and we're going to see this thing through to 100 people. So I'm excited. I've got some things to do to put together this email. Make sure I've got your 5 ways to love on your passengers. The 5 ways are 100 people, you know, earn their designation. And then I'll get this out to you. I hope you guys have a happy Halloween, and I'll talk to you soon.